Every time you watch pornography, your brain releases a surge of dopamine, the neurotransmitter associated with pleasure and reward. This is the same chemical spike that occurs during other addictive behaviors such as gambling, drug use, or binge eating. Here is what happens over time. Dopamine flooding. Porn delivers an unnaturally high dopamine rush, far more intense than real-life experiences. The brain starts to associate with fast, reliable pleasure. Reinforced neural pathways. The more often you consume, the more the brain builds and strengthens the neural circuits tied to that behavior. Reward loop formation. Over time, the brain begins to expect and crave this artificial stimulation, forming a compulsive feedback loop. Cue to craving, to consumption, to temporary relief, to shame, to repeat. Eventually, your brain starts to require to feel normal, and even the anticipation of watching it can trigger pleasure. One of the key drivers of porn addiction is novelty. The brain's craving for something new, unlike real encounters, offers endless novelty with zero effort. With each new video, scene, or scenario, the brain receives another dopamine jolt. This leads to escalation, seeking more graphic, extreme, or taboo content to maintain the same level of arousal. Content that once seemed exciting becomes boring, pushing the user to cross personal boundaries they never intended to. This process mimics tolerance in drug addiction. What once gave a high no longer satisfies, and higher doses or more intense content are needed to achieve the same effect. For many, it becomes less about arousal and more about escape. Escaping from loneliness, stress, sadness, rejection, or shame, providing a momentary illusion of control or intimacy. Acting as a digital sedative when life feels overwhelming. Repeatedly using to cope with life's discomfort trains the brain to avoid rather than confront pain. Over time, this hinders emotional growth and resilience. Addiction doesn't start in the bedroom. It often begins in the brain long before a video is played. Triggers like stress, boredom, or social rejection spark cravings. These cravings activate the brain's habit loop, seeking relief through a predictable behavior, that is watching. With enough repetition, this process becomes automatic, even unconscious. What starts as a conscious choice becomes a compulsive behavior that feels impossible to stop, even when you desperately want to. Prolonged addiction can lead to brain fog, difficulty concentrating, thinking clearly, or focusing on tasks. Emotional numbness, detachment from joy, intimacy, or real pleasure. Increased anxiety and depression, especially after use, when dopamine levels crash and self-loathing sets in.